So we've got some representation from south of the border, and hopefully he's got a nice contingent watching back home on Fight TV.
Well, we are a worldwide organization. You can watch anywhere. Makes us born in American Samoa, and I know very proud of his Samoan roots. And stepping in, 1-0, he won his debut fight, and I know that it was just a short time ago that he fought. So right back to the action for Siula.
Yeah, that was August 2nd. Scored a TKO victory over Brandon Willard with knees, so we're expecting some good striking. He says he's a brawler. He wants to exchange. He wants to get involved with his striking.
And a firefighter in his hometown, so you know stamina shouldn't be an issue. If you've seen any of those competitions where they're dragging hoses and pulling things, that's just the amount of stamina and cardio required for that. So that's one of those things where your work helps your play.
And in the red corner, Preston Pongracz.
Right, his opponent tonight now making his way to the cage. It's Preston Pongracz, fighting out of the Canadian Martial Arts Center here in Lethbridge, Alberta, trained by Lee and Robert Meehan. This will be his cage debut tonight. 45 years of age. Of course, his trainer just won a fight, Lee Meehan, at Unified late last month. Did you see that outcome? If you haven't seen it, try to find it. Lee Meehan won with a standing Ezekiel choke. I didn't know what it was called at the time, but I'm glad I read about it later.
That's because, you know, every single day in their gym they are practicing standing Ezekiel. No, they're not. But Lee Meehan, a pioneer of the sport in the country. Obviously, his son Jordan Meehan fighting in the UFC, one of the top 10 fighters in the world at his weight, and so they've got a wealth of tools. And to use those tools, Preston Pongracz in his cage debut, 45 years old, but don't let age fool you. His trainer is called the Grampinator at 50?
Well, I don't know if we can say it.
We shouldn't say it on These are checks.
Introducing first in the blue corner, from SBG, Idaho, in Boise, Idaho, weighing in at 170 pounds, Petty Beast Moon Siulua. And in the red corner, from the CMC in Lethbridge, Alberta, also having his Wimp and Warrior finale, weighing in at 166 pounds, Preston Pongracz. The referee for this bout is Mr. Mike Tuck.
Okay, we're ready to go here. 170 pounds, amateur matchup, 3-minute rounds. Fighting out of Boise, Idaho, it's Petty Siulua. He's in the black trunks with white trim, 34 years of age, weighed in at 5'9", 170 pounds. Up against Lethbridge's Preston Pongracz, 45 years of age. He's 6 feet tall, weighed in at 166. He's in the black trunks with white. And our official for this one is Mike Tubbs.
Very active so far is Pongracz.
Siulua with a kick to the body, caught by Pongracz, and now he's looking for a submission here in a standing position.
And I hope he keeps it standing. That's where you're going to be dangerous. If you give up the takedown and you miss a submission, you end up in trouble. So you want to keep this standing as much as you possibly can.
Does have a bit of a height advantage, so he would have some leverage. Nice knee, though, from Siulua.
Good forward pressure. Again, we saw it in our last fight with the leaning against the cage, trying to slow down someone who's got a lot of what could be considered nervous energy.
Back to the center of the cage. Siulua. Big right hand rocks his opponent. Pongracz in trouble. Glancing blow from Siulua. And now he's got Pongracz up against the cage. He's trying to connect with some knees, but Siulua fending him off up to this point. Down to the canvas they go. Midway mark here in the opening round. Preston Pongracz in some trouble now against Petty Siulua.
Siulua with this top position, and you heard it from his corner. Be patient here. You've got time.
He's got the back now and lots of time to work with here. Trying to open up Pongracz. trying to sink in a rear naked choke. Pongracz is leaking too, I believe.
Looks like a pretty good cut. It's the rear naked choke is in, whether it's underneath the chin or not.
It's flattening him out now. Sia Lua and Pongracz escapes. Bleeding from the nose, it looks like. So we approach 30 seconds to go here in the opening round. Petty Sia Lua still in a dangerous position.
This top position from Sia Lua, he's doing an excellent job. Just every time that Pongracz gives him something different, he's able to react and stay in a good, solid position. And with his body type, he's fine striking from the clinch. He doesn't need to advance to the mount or anything. He's going to be happy to stay in that position.
A good recovery, though, from Pongracz, who was in some trouble as Sia Lua had his back in that opening round. But we'll get to a second round here. This 170-pound matchup. And so Petty Sia Lua and Preston Pongracz. We'll go to round number 2 here as we look at our Rumble in the Cage replay. Lethbridge's Preston Pongracz, 45 years of age, was Pongracz early going for a standing submission.
So far is Pongracz.
Kind of talked about before the height advantage over here, so he would have some leverage, but he couldn't quite get it sunk in. Nice knee though.
No, and it's tough. As soon as Petty Sia Lua figured out that that was the game plan, he immediately went into defense mode,
up to
and
this
that's
point, down
good
to the
gamesmanship on his part, because
some trouble
a lot of
now
times fighters, especially inexperienced fighters, will still try to stick with their own game plan instead of reacting to what happened. And if you don't react to that guillotine and you rear naked choke is in, whether it's underneath the chin or not,
it's flattening him out now.
The rear naked choke attempt he doesn't need to advance to the mounting. He's going to be happy to stay in that position.
And good recovery though from Pongracz, and we'll have a second round here. That Rumble in the Cage 62, Petty Sia Lua from Boise, Idaho, against Lethbridge's own Preston Pongracz. And Sia Lua backing up Pongracz, who jumps off the cage and presses forward.
Now you've heard Arcade talk about Wimp to Warrior. It's a 20-week program in which these fighters start with no MMA experience, and they work for 20 weeks to try and get themselves into shape. Their final test as it is to step into the cage, and you see it here tonight. Our last 2 fighters from Lethbridge have been Wimp to Warrior finalists, and good for them for not only continuing on and fighting, but for being involved in the program at all. It's a great program and helps out a lot of people.
And he lands a left there.
A little combination. You see a little bit of slowdown from Sia Lua.
Yeah. Now Pongracz backs up Sia Lua, trying to land some knees here. So we approach the midway mark of the second round. A switch for Sia Lua.
Good knee from Pongracz. And it goes back to that guillotine position.
Looking to isolate an arm here, maybe. Sia Lua.
Yeah, Sia Lua using an excellent job of determining the danger from the guillotine, immediately attacking the one wrist, straightening it out. Just takes that out of play.
And a trip from Sia Lua.
It's got some open space here.
And a minute to work with. So, again, Preston Pongracz finding himself in a difficult position here in the latter stages of this round.
Well, the good news for Preston Pongracz is that it's the left hand of Sia Lua that is free, and Sia Lua is right-handed, so you get into a little less danger when you're not throwing your primary hand and ground and pound.
30 seconds to go. Petty Sia Lua, Preston Pongracz. Couple of warriors going at it here.
little slow progression here from Sialua. Perhaps thinking he's done enough already to win the round.
10 seconds to go.
There's some danger there.
Yeah. So, pretty impressive ground game from Pongracz, actually. You're saying 20 weeks.
20 weeks. And honestly, I'm fully surprised. And you've heard Kate talk about what I just saw. It's a 20-week program. Preston Pongracz, when they got up and just gave a little bit of a shoulder check, just let him know, hey, I'm still here. I love that attitude that comes from the fighters. It wasn't disrespectful, but it was just a, hey, I'm still here. A little bit of a check. Could be.
Isolated arm here. Look at our Rumble the Cage replay. The takedown from Sialua, but not as impressive as he was in the first round from that position. Going at it here.
Yeah, definitely a little slower here, and perhaps it's more what Pongracz is doing here in the second round in his defensive side of things, just limiting what Sialua can do. And for Pongracz, if he could continue the pace that he had in round one and the beginning of round two, Sialua looks like he's slowing down a little bit. Perhaps we could see a lot. And that face right there just says absolutely everything for Preston Pongracz as he is in his Wimp to Warrior finale.
Okay, we're going to have a third round here. Preston Pongracz in the black trunks with white and gold trim. It's Petty Sialua in the black trunks with white and red. Some front kicks from Pongracz.
See a low kick. There's the big hand.
Left hand from Sialua. Connected now, a right hand to the body.
Sialua is just throwing with a lot of bad intentions here. And so far he's landed one, but Preston Pongracz keeps moving forward.
Now the conditioning here for both these fighters is going to come into play in this third and final round. Sialua is certainly trying to end it with those attempts.
They still have a lot behind them at the later stage of this fight. The only problem is that 6 of the 8 that he's thrown have missed. They've been thrown with bad intentions, but when you miss, just as Charlie Brown, he didn't miss with that one, but when you miss, it just gets worse for you. It tires you out. There's a good left hand that lands, but Pongracz still stands.
Showing a great chin tonight, Preston Pongracz here in the third round. And now pressing forward, looking for a takedown. He's on the back with a body triangle.
Working the body triangle, the takedown from Preston Pongracz. And he is working with 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining. Good hand defense, hand fighting here from Sialua. Trying to limit the opportunities that Pongracz can have.
Let's see what Pongracz can do here. He's got some time to work with. And you got to think at this stage in the fight to have a body triangle like this, debilitating for your opponent.
And you get the hand free from Pongracz. And
Can't strike the back of the head.
Good discipline there for Pongracz. A lot of people in that situation, because that's what he had available to him, would have hit the back of the head, and he didn't. Good work by the amateur.
Sialua has been trying to flip this, but he hasn't been able to up to this point. As Preston Pongracz trying to pull something out here in the third. Some shots to the side of the head.
Continuing to land. There's a shot in return from Sialua.
20 seconds to go. Third round. At 170 pounds, Preston Pongracz, Petty Sialua.
There was a little bit of pressure there on the chin. Less than 10 seconds to go. And you see trying to sneak in the rear naked choke, trying to do anything he can to do damage. Here's some shots being landed. Short time remaining. And that is a Whip to Warrior finale that I stand by. What a heck of a third round from Preston Pongracz for both eating the punches that he did. 4 or 5 that landed good. But wow, what a finish.
He's got the crimson mask at the end of the round, but that damage was done early in the fight. Left hand Sialua as we look at a Rumble the Cage replay. Connected now, a right hand Cialua was swinging from the fences early on
The only
in the
problem
round,
is that
but about midway
missed.
through that
They've been
third
thrown
round,
with
it was
bad
Pongracz
intentions,
getting
but when you
the
miss,
takedown and then getting
that's
right
Charlie
into a
Brown.
body
Charlie Brown,
triangle.
he didn't miss
Slickly
that
done.
one. But
by
when you
the
miss, it just gets
45-year-old.
worse for The you. 45-year-old with 20 weeks experience. Pongracz still stands. That continuity is high level.
Showing a great chin
And good for him that he was able to get it and use that to
now
his
pressing
advantage.
forward,
Here's
looking
the
for a
takedown. Immediately
And
locks
you got
it
to
on.
think at
No
this stage in the fight to
hesitation
have a
there
body triangle
from
like
the
this, debilitating.
amateur making his debut as he gets
And
good
straight in
discipline
the back of the
corner
head.
here.
Good
They're trying to
discipline
control
there for
the
Pongracz.
bleed in the back of the
It's
head.
coming
He
from
didn't.
the nose.
Good work, but that is
Cialua's been trying to pass
a
Preston
finale
Pongracz,
that
trying to
I'm a fan
pull
of.
something out here in the third. Some
Continuing to
opening
land.
we've had here to Rumble in the Cage 62, a
There's a shot
third
in
straight
return
fight
there on the
going to
chin.
a
Less than
decision.
10 seconds to go.
With,
And you see
judges
trying
once
to
again
sneak
are
in the
out of
rear naked choke,
Pretty
trying to do
Pole
anything he
and
can
Crystal
to do
Tutak.
damage. Here's some shots being landed.
They've been busy so far tonight. And just the evenness we've had in the matchups up to this point. Stellar, as usual, here at Rumble in the Cage.
Matchmaking makes these events, and being able to come up with such great events. You see the clothespin trying to stem the tide of blood coming from the nose. It's just a funny image.
It looks like he's having fun in there.
He
Jeremy?
is.
Yeah.
He deserves all the accolades he's going to get, and I'm sure some beers are going to be purchased for him. That's a great shot by our crew here.
Yeah.
Catching some of that blood that made it.
It was a battle, to be sure. We'll send things up to our cage announcer, RK, for the official decision.
Your winner by split decision in the blue corner, Petty Beast Mode Cialua.
So a split decision, Jeremy. But Petty Cialua will come away with the victory, but as we often argue here, there are no losers when you have a fight like that.
No, that was a great fight between both these guys. And that, I just can't say any more about Preston Pongracz. That was an incredible bout by Pongracz. He deserves every bit of accolades he's going to get for that one.
Whip to Warrior, successful.
Warrior now.
Successful.
Yeah. Check.
Yeah. Once again, we'll look at some of the highlights from this matchup between Cialua and Pongracz.
You see some cleaning up of the cage. The only thing that holds back fights